Hey, good morning. This is Mayor Valensky with Driving Markets. Anything said in this piece is an opinion only. Let's kick off and let's look at what is driving markets today. So the talks between Biden, McCarthy, and the rest of the senators is progressing inch by inch. There will be a debt ceiling agreement. I've said that all along. It's very, very unlikely the US will default. The Republicans don't want it, and also the Democrats don't want it. What the battle is going on in the moment is that the Democrats, they want to lay out more money. They want to spend more money on benefits, and the Republicans want those costs to be cut back. Now, in order to balance the budget and to get America moving, they're going to have to make cost cuttings and increase production in order to fight inflation. Now, until they make cost cuttings, the debt ceiling is just going to rise and rise and rise. Now, let's assume that the Democrats get in next time, God forbid, but never mind. Let's assume the Democrats get in, then that spending will continue. On the other hand, as someone pointed out, when the Republicans get in, they give huge tax benefits to all of the billionaires in the US. So it's really imbalanced between one side and another. However, once the debt ceiling is agreed, and it will be agreed before the deadline, that's for sure, then they're just going to have continuous rising debt in the US, which they'll have to deal with at a later stage. Now, the markets rallied yesterday. Dow was up 408 points. Nasdaq, S&P were up. Bitcoin was up over $400. Gold was down. Oil was up. Okay, and soft grains were down. We'll come onto that with between Ukraine and Russia in a second. Now, the markets jumped up on the expectations that a agreement will be reached on the debt ceiling. That is selling in, that is buying in anticipation of the news. Once that news comes out, effectively it'll be time to go short of the market and sell the market for those who are day traders or swing traders. In other words, an opportunity to sell into the rally. The rally won't be maintained because once the news is out regarding the debt ceiling, then they'll go back to all of the economic and daily numbers to see where the market is going as regards financials, as regards economic growth. Gold moved down because it's risk off at the moment, simply because it looks like all the markets are steady, equity markets are steady. Western Alliance Bank Corporation jumped 12% yesterday, reporting that they've had an increase in their deposits. That's a regional bank in the US. Unusual, but it looks like the people who took their money out have gone and put their money back in. So they've had a jump in their deposits. That gave encouragement to all of the stocks in the regional second tier banking sector in the US. Zions Bank, Co-America, all jumped up following on from that news that came out from Western Alliance Bank Corporation. Again, the banking crisis is not over. Remember, talking about the banking crisis, you've got the banking crisis, which is the banks or the second tier banks have lent money to on commercial property and residential property. Commercial property in the US is sinking in certain areas, down more than 30%. That's mainly due to several factors. Number one, businesses contracting. Number two, a lot of theft and a lot of hooligans have broken into shops and stolen goods, and therefore it's not worthwhile for some of those shops, warehouses, or businesses to remain open in those areas that have been raided by those individuals. Okay, now, one sec. Whoa, excuse me. I sneezed in the middle of a broadcast. Excuse me. So some of those shops, so commercial property has dropped significantly in certain areas, and there's an overall downtrend in commercial property in the US. That means that is going to have an impact on the regional banks. So this rally is a short-lived rally as far as I'm concerned. Oil's jumped up again. Oil moved up on the expectations that we're not going to go into recession. Therefore, oil jumped up 2% and said, you know what, we're not going into recession. Oil's hypersensitive to terminology or news regarding a recession. China's trying to formulate some sort of peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, which brings me on to the grain prices. Soft grain prices dropped yesterday in the commodity markets because the channel or the corridor of exports via Turkey has been renewed. So therefore, grains from Ukraine will be continuing to be exported via the corridor through the Turkish ports. That's been agreed by Russia, but the war's still going on there, and the war is going to continue for the next few months, even the next year, until Russia really gains some victory and can show its people that the war was worthwhile for all of these deaths that have occurred on both sides of the Ukraine and Russia. Moving on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's moved up over $400 yesterday. It's again struggling. Remember, it's got solid support at 25,000, so it's really range bound between 25,000 and 30,000 if you're a Bitcoin or a crypto trader. One to watch, because if it moves up to 30,000, that looks like a sell area, and it goes down towards 25,000, that looks like a buy area at the moment till there's a breakout from those particular areas. Foreign exchange, dollar was strong against the euro and the yen, but weaker against the pound. Yesterday, Andrew Bailey of the MPC said that the Bank of England said that it looks like they're going to have to continue raising rates, and he's insistent that inflation is going to come down to the 2% area. Not going to happen. Moved into a different era. Inflation's not going to go down to 2%. Okay, they can raise rates all they want. Inflation is not going to go down to 2%. They should raise that to 3.5%, and they might be able to get to their target by 2025. Okay, but it's not going to happen in the next 12 months. But rates are likely to move up in the UK. That would be good for the pound, bad for mortgage holders, and bad for borrowing costs as he tries to rein in inflation. But who's Andrew Bailey? Never liked him in the first place. That's more or less it. For Mayor Valencia Driving Markets, you can subscribe, share. Catch you later.